All right. Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Dermot. My co-author is
Alex?
and we're going to be speaking on blockchain, a new building block for the construction sector.
Okay, well, with blockchain, yes, it's this cool tech, but the thing with it is it's actually a general purpose technology. And we've seen lots of general purpose technologies and the impact they've had, steam engines, electricity, the internal combustion engine, the internet, and computers. And actually, one thing in common with all these other ones is people often said, what use are they? Same with blockchain. Well, what's the killer app? Well, they did things which we never realized would happen. So next slide, Dermot. Now, the thing also with new technology is when it first starts, it's pretty clunky. It's not as good as the current system, and people laugh at it. So, for example, in Punch, in the beginning of the 20th century, really didn't like cars, neither did most people. And there's a series of cartoons, and this is just one of them from 1900. And you've got a motor car that's broken down, and the trusty, dependable horse comes along that's pulling its little carriage, and the owners of the motor car asking for a tow, and they say that it's easy to pull, and the motor car, the horse dealer ends up saying, then suppose that you pull it yourself. So the whole thing is cars were not very dependable at all. Horses would just go forever. They were the known thing. But of course, we know what happened to horses. There's not many of them around now. So on to the next slide. Now, the key thing with harnessing the benefits of blockchain is it is not just using the technology in your current systems. Because if the system isn't very good, and a lot of systems aren't, you just get a faster, rubbish system. It requires completely rethinking about how you do things. And it's not just within your organization. You need the whole of the industry to work together and other people outside. And that's actually the real sticking point, because people, they know how things work, they're comfortable, and they do not want to make changes. But if you are prepared, and a lot of people need to be prepared to make changes, don't get the experts in the area that you're trying to change to make the changes, to design the new system, because they are the experts who are designed or are really comfortable in the current system, and they just don't want to, and they don't know how to make changes. You're better getting in someone from externally coming in and saying, this is what you can do. So on to you, Dermot.
Okay, thanks, Alex. So Alex and I have been funded for the last 2 years to explore what the opportunities for blockchain are in the construction sector. And one of the ways that we've been doing that is we've been holding workshops with industry, help them understand what blockchain is. You can't really understand what it might do for you unless you grasp it. So one of the things we've been doing is getting them to build Lego blockchains, and that's the image that you see on the screen. And this really starts a discussion around what are some of the merits and what are some of the possibilities of blockchain. We then start to introduce to these industry partners some existing use cases that people are exploring on blockchain. So there's an interesting Maersk and IBM case study on supply chain. The Design Informatics Research Center has got an interesting project called BitBarista, which is a coffee machine that you trade with. And actually that coffee machine can trade with you. If you clean it, it will pay you through cryptocurrency. And then there's CarryCrop, which is a bridge currency idea for a currency to operate within an agricultural sector. So the purpose here is to use these examples as a way to help people start to brainstorm some of the particular affordances of blockchain and how they might benefit the construction sector. Now, we've had lots of outcomes from these workshops. The idea of a community cryptocurrency that you can only spend in your neighborhood to engender sort of a sense of community. You can use it for supply chain streamlining, smart contracts, and the idea of creating our own bridge currency for waste reduction. I'm not going to be able to speak on all of these in this time. I'd like to just take two of those and talk in a little bit more detail. Talk about the smart contracts for small to medium enterprises and the TTT coin, a model of commerce for reducing waste. Starting off with waste in construction, it's a big problem. In the UK and in New Zealand, somewhere in the region of about 30% of building materials goes into landfill, the materials that arrive on a construction site. And that cost is just passed on to the building owners, the clients. So this was a concept around a programmable cryptocurrency that you could trade only on things, only on products, use, reuse, or recycle material. For example, you could have this particular currency, kind of a Bitcoin type currency, that you could give to people like a gift voucher or a birthday present or a Christmas gift. Knowing that when they spend that, it can only be spent on products and things or services that are reducing waste. The idea that an entrepreneur could use this currency to buy waste from a contractor, waste that they're using in their products. And in turn, the contractor is approved to convert that cryptocurrency back into real regular money, dollars or pounds or euro, so that they're incentivized to use their waste and to curate their waste so that they can get this currency and convert it into more profit. The idea that a contractor might be issued a percentage of a building contract in this cryptocurrency, encouraging them to spend it on things in the building that in and of themselves are contributing to the RRR market, the reduce, reuse, recycle market. So this was an idea about, rather than punishing or charging people for waste, and that just gets passed on to the consumer, but rather, can we start to create a profitable market economy around waste reduction using some cryptocurrency concepts, using technology like blockchain? Another idea that came out of our workshops was the idea of using smart contracts for small to medium enterprises. And this really came around through the idea that there's a lot of benefit from collaboration. Collaborative procurement, we call it alliancing in New Zealand, and other countries they call it different things. These are producing better projects, projects finished on budget, under budget, projects that are working quite well collaboratively with the partners. It does, however, only benefit the larger companies that are involved in the alliance. Small to medium enterprises further downstream from that are still using traditional contracts, and there's a number of vulnerabilities that are associated with those. They're vulnerable to risk, given that they're quite small, and often there's quite a lot of money involved for them in one of these projects. They are vulnerable to slow or to non-payment, and they're vulnerable also because these types of contracts, they really only encourage people to deliver a minimal viable product, the absolute sort of bare minimum that they can provide in order to maximize their profits. What the smart contracts offer, what the possibilities of a smart contract is that because they are digital, they can be executed a lot quicker. And this is one of the things that the Maersk and IBM case study demonstrated, that if you can start to trigger contracts more quickly, the entire process becomes faster. Also, if you integrate that with a cryptocurrency, the payment can be a lot faster as well. And because it's also creating a public record of performance, one can start to see how particular contractors are performing in terms of their contract. Are they meeting their contract? Are they coming in on time? Are they coming in on budget? And the idea that an overview for these small to medium enterprises becomes very, very attractive because it shows how well they're performing. It gives them the opportunity to see the potential for collaborating with other small to medium enterprises where they might be able to increase efficiencies, might be able to increase their profit, or increase the quality of the service that they are delivering. That's a very, very brief overview of a couple of outcomes of the project. You can reach Alex and I on our email address, and we've also got a much more detailed explainer on our on one of the project updates that where you can see in detail the explanation. Thank you, and we are happy to take questions.